I got the same line. All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started here this evening. Welcome everyone to the ECAC meeting. That's Citizens Advisory Council. This is our July meeting for this this summer, and appreciate everyone being here. I hear my echo over here next to all the electronic stuff, so it's kind of like when you're in a recording studio and you've got the headphones on and you hear your own voice. Well, I don't know if okay, never mind. We won't even go there. That's right. That's right. You do get to see the back of my head. So I appreciate everyone being here. Can I get a quick show of hands to see who's here for their very first meeting? Okay. All right. We do have some people here. Excellent. Well, welcome. And if you haven't already, make sure you sign in at our sign-in sheet here at the door so that we can contact you later. And I've got some handouts on the table as well. with some resources for the ECAC. So email lists, we've got contact information for the CAC officers, a little bit of information about when the meetings take place. So feel free to take one of these home if you want to get signed up and get regular announcements from us. Okay. We have the minutes from our last meeting, June minutes, printed in our newsletter. I don't know, Charlene, did we manage to get newsletters here?
You mean in the mail?
No, physical copies for here. Okay, we do. Okay. Okay, so the newsletter has the minutes from June. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes, or are there any corrections that need to be made? Okay, we have a motion to approve. Any seconds? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye? Okay, all right, we will go ahead and approve the minutes. With that, let's go ahead to success reports. There are a couple of things that I wanted to mention when we got started. First off, last month we had Mayor Meeker here to talk about pretty much the revitalization that's going on in East Raleigh, answer questions from the residents, and he did. And we were very fortunate to have him here. But I want to say that the publicity that the ECAC got from that one particular meeting lasted at least 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I think I was finding references to the East Raleigh community meeting in the paper maybe 3 weeks after the meeting. So it was huge publicity for us. And I think a lot of people now know about the ECAC where they didn't before. So I think that's a really cool thing that's happened. Also, we managed to get some new CAC signs due to the new funding that we had approved. So Van Alsten got those made, and if any of you want to take one of these signs home with you, put it in your yard a couple days before the meeting and let your neighbors know that there is a CAC meeting, come up to us, we'll get you a sign, and we certainly do appreciate you doing that. I know that a lot of folks that show up here find out about the ECAC from those signs, so they seem to be very effective in getting the word out. Thanks, Van, for making that happen. Also, yeah, let's go ahead and give it a hand. That's how's the back of my head? Okay. So, also want to mention the Community Day, East Raleigh Community Day coming up in August. That's August 14th. It's still being planned. It's going to happen over at the Food Line. They're going to be, we're going to have input from the police department, the Food Line itself, the Community Services Department, Wake Med, everybody is getting involved to help celebrate East Raleigh, have all kinds of things going on. And if you're interested in helping plan this particular event, there's going to be a meeting at the Walnut Creek Wetlands Center, which is off of South State Street in Peterson, I believe, and that's going to be happening on July 22nd. That's this Thursday, I think at 10 o'clock. Officer Crisco stepped out, I guess, but you can tell. Yeah. 10 o'clock. So if you're interested in that, I'll send out an announcement to the mailing list just to make sure that you know about it. But that's going to be a great thing for the community. So if you have some time to volunteer, that would be a wonderful way to do it. Also, before the Community Day takes place, I'm going to organize a litter pickup along Raleigh Boulevard, because I don't know if you've noticed that, but the place is just a total mess. So from Glasscock Street south to as far as we feel like doing, I guess, we'll just do that early in the morning before the Community Day takes place. And by early, I mean maybe 8 o'clock or something before it gets oppressively hot. But we'll get vests and the pickup sticks and everything, and we'll get all that trash picked up, because that really is an eyesore for the neighborhood. The Progress Energy has recently gone through and fixed a lot of the street lights that have been out in the area. I think there were probably 50 or something that have been reported, and I get phone calls every day from them telling them, hey, we just fixed this new batch of lights. So you'll see the neighborhood looking a little bit different at nighttime. And if you know of street lights that are still out, you haven't seen them getting any attention, you can either let me know or go to the links page of the East Raleigh website, and it's got a form for the street light repair. Yes?
I know a few that need the branches cut, but they're not coming.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I think Officer Crisco and I were working on a project to just kind of make note of those, and we'll get that taken care of. So. Yeah, either let me know and or Crisco know, and we'll get it taken care of. Okay. Anything else to report for success reports? Van, do you have something?
Yes.
Come on up if you would, please.
me on the thing. It was done as a joke.
Back of my head. We can see your mustache.
There was an attempt to put a daycare for 28 children on Haven Road in a house right in the middle of the neighborhood. And the Country Club View neighborhood got together. And I would say it's a success because everyone in the neighborhood was against putting the daycare there in the middle of our neighborhood. And we fought it at the Board of Adjustment meetings 2 times. And the first time we won, and she was not allowed to put it there. She tried to get the case reopened, and they refused to allow it to reopen. So with the exception of our one neighbor who was trying to put a business in the middle of the neighborhood, everybody else considered it a success.
Excellent. Anything else? Yes, Keith. Yeah, come on up.
My name's Keith. I run the Economic Development Committee. And we have RBC has agreed to come on August 11th at 6:30 to 7:30. It's their Community Reinvestment Act representative. We've been working for a couple months to try to get them to come and just talk to us about what money they have available, what the criteria is. And we'd love to have a group of people there, you know, that are eager, had some good questions, even had some ideas in terms of something they might have in mind for the community that think would deserve money according to their criteria. It'd be great to have a good number of people there that are attentive and interested. We'll send it out probably a week or so before, just as a reminder. So it'll be here, I believe, in the community center from 6:30 to 7:30 on August 11th. So thanks. August 11th. Yeah, it's for RBC. For RBC, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Keith. All right, with that, let's hear from our city inspectors. Dudley Winslow, would you like to step up? He's going to be here taking questions. If you've got any issues that need to be raised, you can talk with him.
I'm Dudley Winslow, City of Raleigh Inspections. We've got Kenny Swift back here, as well as in Heights and Environmental Inspections. Are there any questions for us? I know a lot of you know us by now. Anybody got any questions, any concerns? That sounds good. Thank you very much.
All right, don't say you didn't get your chance there. So, okay. Thank you very much. All right, and we will move on to our Parks and Rec Department report. So we've got Jason Clemens here to tell us what's going on with Parks.
I hope everybody's doing well today. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Jason Clemens, Assistant Director here at Lions Park. Been here for about 7 months now. Graduate of Winston-Salem State University. Also got my master's degree from High Point University. Just like to throw that out there because I'm proud of myself. I'm going to jump right into it. Did you know during July 6th City Council meeting, Mayor Meeker proclaimed July as the Parks and Recreation Month in the city of Raleigh. So that's all about us now. All right, you can get fit for summer on a budget. Take advantage of the variety of cardiovascular and strength training equipment available at fitness rooms around the city. The fitness rooms are open during normal center operating hours with membership fees of only $15 a month and or $75 for 6 months. Also, we have our own fitness room here at the center, $12 a month. You guys, if you're interested, go check that out. Interested in living green but not sure how? Check out the many living green programs, including recycling, how to be water wise, and birding 101 that are fun and informative for the whole family. Class fees range from $1 to $3. Also, from July 1st through August 30th, the Pullen Arts Center will be having a polygon wooden fish exhibit featuring work from Greensboro artist Paul Summer. Our park planning updates. A dedication and open house for Morris Creek Community Center was held on July 14th. Please be sure to visit the new addition if you have not already done so. I went there myself, checked it out. They have hardwood floors in their gym. Very nice. I'm not going to say any more about it, but it is very nice. You guys need to check that out. That is one of the best facilities here in the city of Raleigh. Some upcoming special events. Dancing in the Park. Want to lose unwanted pounds, gain muscle tone, and improve your overall health and appearance while doing something you enjoy, which would be, of course, dancing. That program is going to be at Chavis Park. It's going to run on Mondays from July 19th through September the 6th from 6 to 7 p.m. The Sassafras Playground fundraiser is having a fish fry. That's a sponsorship from Laura Hills. Come and enjoy dinner and help raise money for the Sassafras Playground at Laura Hills Park. Tickets are going to be $8.50 and may be purchased at the event. The location will be at the Bedford Community Clubhouse, and that event is going to be on July 31st from 3:30 to 7:30 p.m. Also, the Mordecai Free Friday, Mordecai will offer free tours on this special Friday. This is going to be on August the 20th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Mordecai Historic Park. As for our upcoming athletic registrations, Districts A, B, C, and D Youth Cheerleading will have registration on July 26th through July the 30th. That is next Monday. So if you guys are interested, know any females that are interested in being cheerleaders, please have them come sign up and register starting on next Monday. Also, our District A, B, C, and D youth football registration will be July 26th, also through July 30th and or 31st, depending on how many kids we actually get. And I can tell you right now for football, especially the little kids, it fills up right quick. So if you have a son, grandson, or know anybody that's interested in coming out to play football for us next fall, please have them come and register bright and early next Monday. Okay? Also, youth fall baseball and fast pitch softball had registrations last week, July 12th through the 16th. If you want any additional information on that, please come and see me or Christy throughout the week. Of course, we're going to have to see if they're full with registration, but if you guys missed the registration dates and still interested in having your kids sign up for softball or baseball, just come see me or Christy. Okay? Adult dodgeball registration will be from August 9th through the 12th. Adult fall baseball will start on August the 9th and will go until it's filled. Also, adult softball will be running from July 19th, which started today, and will run through the 22nd. Adult softball tournament, only teams that are currently enrolled in the league will play. So, of course, if you're not enrolled, you won't be eligible to play for that tournament. Sand volleyball at JC will run from August the 2nd through the 10th. Okay? So upcoming public meetings, the Park, Recreation, and Greenway Advisory Board's regular scheduled meeting for Thursday, July 15th, has been canceled due to the summer break.
Q2, it's already passed.
Did they ever?
No, we didn't have one, but that was 3 days ago.
Okay, well, I'm reading from the paper, as you know.
To attend, it's too late.
The Parks Committee and Standing Committee of the Parks, Recreation, and Greenway Advisory Board meeting scheduled for Thursday, August the 5th has been canceled. That has not passed. The Parks and Recreation Department will be hosting a public meeting concerning the intended JC Community Center renovations on Monday, August the 2nd at 6 p.m. at JC Community Center. Architects from the New City Design Group will be presenting the preferred design. Citizens are encouraged to participate in the meeting and offer feedback. And also, the Parks and Recreation Department will be hosting another public meeting concerning the intended Carolina Pines Community Center renovations on Tuesday, August the 3rd at 7 p.m., also at the JC Community Center. And architects, of course, will be there to take questions and concerns as well. Are there any questions? Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jason. And now we'll go ahead and move on to the police report with Officer Crisco.
How's everybody doing today? Hope you all enjoyed your holiday. I know I did. I wasn't here. If you take a look at your crime stats, you can see they're significantly less than last time. Last time was 2.5 pages. We only have a page, which is really good for being July. and the temperatures being as hot as they are. Real quick, does anybody have any questions about any incidents that they see on here? Yes.
I want to read about elsewhere, but it was a, I'm not sure if it's a drug bust or something on Marlboro, or 1100 block of Marlboro. I read about it this time, one of those car washes.
Oh, yes.
I was just curious.
Yeah, I think you sent me an email about that. I looked it up. It wasn't there was no case report for it.
Oh, okay.
It was just an officer got out on a call that was a drug-related call, did the investigation and realized there was no drugs at all on that person. A lot of times on those like spotcrime.com and stuff like that, they when a call goes out, they don't. I mean, they just get the I guess the citizen forms. And they don't have any information on what really happened. So if it goes out as a drug call, they're going to put a drug call. But when I go and actually look at the call and read the notes, the dispatch notes, or look at the case report, we can better determine whether or not it might have went out as a drug call, but ended up as just a suspicious person or just nothing at all.
I got you. Yeah, they made it look like it was an actual house, like that was growing, and so that's why, if that was the case.
Oh, no. If it was, I can go back and check again, but I didn't see, when you sent me that email, I didn't see any report about a house or anything like that. I did see one where an officer went out to a drug-related call. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, approximately what time was that incident at 1300 Somerset on Sunday, the last one on the list?
1500.
What time that occurred? And the next clock, and I want to know.
No, I do not have a time on it. I get back to you with the time. But I do know that with that incident, the keys were left in a truck. It was a work truck, and they were parked back over there. I think he left the truck, left it running, left all his equipment in there. So they took the car, but they found the car almost right away. So, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They took a trailer from there, and I believe there's, yeah, there was a go-kart on the top of it. You said it's the 20. This happened on the 23rd, and this was your case. It happened to you. Okay. Do you know the detective that's in? Okay, I can talk to you after this, get the detective's name on it, and I can find out through the detective what's going on. There may not be any break in the case. There may not be any suspect information or anything. They may have to wait until, did they take fingerprints at the scene or anything like that? Okay. I can get up with the detective and see where they are in the process, if it's considered, an actual workable case, like they have something to go off of, or they just waiting on some type of information to come in to give them a lead to find out what happened or who the suspect may have been. Okay, but if you see me after this, we'll talk about it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, that was a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. It wasn't a random. It wasn't just. It was a boyfriend or took his girlfriend's keys and the car. Okay. Yes. It wasn't a random. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
I believe 911 was called, fire truck came first, but then they didn't come to the actual scene. They waited for the police officer to come. What happened there, do you know?
Is it on Dalewood?
Yeah.
And you said it was last month, you believe?
In the ending of last month, beginning of this month.
Okay, we only have, well, I don't have anything on here about it, so there probably wasn't a case report written, or it wasn't a Part 1 crime. It could have been any numerous types of calls, but I can look into it. You said it was on Dalewood Drive?
Yeah, I think it was like 839 or 840, something like that, down lower.
Okay, I'll check into that, and I can, do I have your email address? Okay, I can email you information, or I'll give you a call. Anybody else have?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't at the last meeting. I know they said that the date for the substation over here at Raleigh
Yes.
next month is August.
The grand opening that we're actually going to present it to the community is going to be on the 14th of August, which is going to be the community day. But right now, we have contractors in and out, and they're actually prepping it to be ready by the 1st. I still use it here and there, but right now with the contractors in it, I really can't use it. But by the 1st, it should be ready for us to use. By the 14th, it should be ready for everyone to come in and take a tour of it.
What the hours gonna be? Is somebody gonna be in there from 8 to 5, or do you know yet? Or
Yes, officers are. I'm definitely going to be there on a 2-week rotation. I'm either going to be there Monday through Thursday from 9 to 5, and then Friday nights from 7 to 3, or Tuesday through Friday 9 to 7. So I may be in and out, but those are the hours that I will be there.
What day does the coffee machine get delivered?
I'm not sure. I'm not a very big coffee drinker, so we're working on bottled water. Where the old Dominion medical place used to be, right in between the check cashing and City Trends, 2 down from Lamb's Garden.
Now, is that gonna be 7 PM to 3 AM or 7 AM? I mean,
7
7.
p.m. to 3 a.m. will be every other Friday. Yes.
Now, when, let's say, live over there in Raleigh North, you know, I'm talking before.
I know.
Say they're in the past few months.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, you know, that has lost. But, I was just trying to figure out, I can be with you on the side, but it's been some things I can check with you about.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, that's one of my success reports I was actually going to talk about. If kind of a success, we're getting there, little by little. If nobody has any more questions. Yes, sir. Actually, we're in the process of doing that right now. That's what our community day is all about. It's not just going to be to get the community together. I've networked with different community outreach programs, family outreach programs. Parks and Rec are going to get involved, and all these other outside organizations are going to be there. They're going to set up booths. Raleigh North has even renovated an entire downstairs apartment, I guess like maintenance shed, that they're going to give to an outreach program to sit with the kids and to run these programs and stuff like that. So it's already in the process. As far as outside help other than law enforcement, other than our response, the community is already spoken, and they want, and hopefully we'll get a lot of volunteers out of the CAC to go to this community meeting or the community event. But we also have outside organizations like Wake Med that are willing to come in and help us out. And that's going to be on the 14th. Of August. So if you want to volunteer, let me know. We can get you on there, get a T-shirt. It'll be good. Okay. Anybody else? All right. We had had some complaints from some citizens at the Raleigh North Apartment Complex about gangs, and I sent an email to our gang suppression unit, and they've been hitting it hard for the last 2 weeks. And I got some emails last night from Sergeant Rosa, who's the head of our gang suppression unit team 2, and they made, just over this weekend alone, they've made 6 arrests of noted gang members in the Raleigh North Apartment Complex. We have worked out an agreement with the new management, which I thought he was going to be here today, but he's been super busy just fixing up the end of these, all these apartments need to be renovated and stuff like that. But they've been on board, they're helping out a lot. I meet with him almost every day with information, back reports from problems that happened before that are going to be put in apartment files to keep them on notice and stuff like that. And when I meet with him tomorrow, we'll discuss this, and hopefully we'll get some evictions out of this. Because him and I have both. They actually have to go through, I forget what he called it, but some type of documents manager to find out what they can do based on their violations of, not their lease violations, but they have like a community policy as far as noise levels, being responsible for your guests, and they want to know if they can get evictions for that or final notices for that, some way to let because most of the problems over there, we all know, is not, most of the time is not from the tenant themselves, it's from their visitors. And if the management can't do anything about their visitors, they say, oh, well, this person can't visit you. But if they're causing a problem and we trespass them, I've had like 6 or 7 officers trespass individuals from that property in the last 2 weeks alone. My mailbox is just filling up with trespassing. So the management's very receptive to us doing that. They're going to do anything they can to clean the area up. They're very deep-seated in this community day that they're donating money, they're going to donate their time and stuff like that. So this new management is really taking a hold of the concept that we had going before, but they're taking it a step forward. But before they can do that, they want to make sure that they know all the information. They don't want to say, okay, well, I assume that she did it then, well, I could do it now. They want to make sure that they can do it, and they're not just blowing everything off. They have specific file jackets for each report that I bring in for the apartments. So as soon as they get the okay to, hey, you can do this and you can do that, then they're going to go forth on that. And it's already it's already been word of mouth out there that people are scared. They don't like they were about a year and a half ago when they were scared to tell people who they were visiting or why they were there. They would rather just get arrested. But now officers are noticing what apartments they're coming out of, and they're putting that in their reports. So when I get that report information and I drop it off, the civilian copy to the management, they know what apartment is responsible for. And in their lease, it says automatically you are responsible for any person on your property, and that person has to be right next to you at all times while they're on the property. They can't just come visit you and then hang out everywhere else. So they're really starting to button down on that, which is why you see there's a lot less traffic out there. There's a lot of kids running around as opposed to a lot of grown adults that are out there. We still have our problem units, we still have our problem areas, but we're fixing that. I know for a fact that I go out there every day 2-3 hours and just sit in one spot until they move. And when they move, I sit there for another hour, 45 minutes, something like that, and then I go on to the next hot spot. Then I come back and I go back and I wear them out, and they know who I am. They don't like me. They spit at me. They do all types of things, but I don't care, because eventually it's all going to be with the help of the community, and it's community day, everybody's going to help put a hand in, and we're going to get rid of that, because they have something like a 1.5 year waiting list for apartments out there. So we don't care how many people that need to get taken out of there until we get one person that's going to live there and not cause any problems. So, and all that information I get is from citizens that write me handwritten email or letters. They come up to me and speak to me in person. Hey, this apartment here, this apartment there. So the word's getting out. I'm getting more and more people like that, because they're starting to see that the police department is here to take a stand. We're not going to come in and leave. We're here for good, and that we're actually going to make a difference. And if they can do that, then everybody else around here that lives in the surrounding area should be able to call in, or at least take some time to go out into the community and try to meet some of these people that are being proactive, help them out, give them an extension so that it's not always me going to their door and they become a snitch. But if say for instance, Van goes over to her house and they talk and she says, hey, this is the problem we have going. He goes, well, you know what, we can do this, we can do that. Maybe we can organize a community meeting. I can help you get up and going, because this is what we do in my community. This is how we combat this in my community. So essentially you're taking, instead of it having to be a law enforcement response each and every time, y'all can start taking over responsibility. So when there's a big problem, that I can come out with all my resources and solve that big problem. But the small problems, as far as getting community watch up and going and stuff like that, you already have communities here that have that, and we can, share the wealth. We come here once a month and we can all put our heads together and figure something out. Because I'm only one person, Lisa Burglas is only one person, and we can only do so many at a time. And if everybody could pitch in and help, and spread the wealth, then I think it'll work. And starting with the new community event, when people get out there, we start to notice one another and say, hey, this is Johnny. Okay, well, man, Johnny, I see him walk through my neighborhood every single day. Well, he's not suspicious to me anymore because he's Johnny, and Johnny's going to work. So that's one time I don't have to be on my toes and call 911 because I know that's Johnny. Or, hey, I know that's Johnny. Johnny's breaking into Lisa's car. I can call 911 and say, hey, Johnny's breaking into Lisa's car. But we can only do that when we get out and we interact. And hopefully that's what my vision of this community day was. I know that's what Ronell's vision of this community day was. I know that's what Mark's vision of this community day was. So the more people we can get out there and volunteer, and hopefully we'll all get free T-shirts, courtesy of PK management. But if anything, come out there for the T-shirt and the water and the food. Get out there, and because Food Line is really, really trying to make an effort to stay in that building over there. They don't want to leave, but if they don't get any more visitors, they have no option. So, yes, ma'am. Okay, right now we just met with we had one meeting about a month ago, just like bare bones meeting. This is who's involved so far, and we didn't kind of talk about how we're going to get the word out. This next meeting that we have on the 22nd is going to be all that. Okay, Food Line, you're responsible for this. Mark, you're responsible for this. RPD is responsible for this. Okay, who's responsible for getting the word out? How are we going to get the word out? Are we going to do signs? Are we going to do flyers? We don't want to do as much as get on the radio because we don't want the entire city coming here. We basically, at least for this first event, we want to have the community itself here so we can get to know one another and then branch out. Because next year, well, obviously, I like to have it earlier on in the season so that Parks and Rec can come out with their sign-up booths and all these other community outreach programs can have their sign-up booths before their seasons begin. But, you know, things being the way they are, we just want to get it up and going so that next year we can just keep it going, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, and just keep it on going so everybody's connected and all the knowledge gets spread, not just through this meeting, but just through meeting people out in the streets. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
If you have vendors, or how do vendors get signed up, they would participate?
Just send me an email. And if you're a vendor and you want to participate, you're welcome to come down to the Wetland Center on the 22nd of this month. From 10 to 12, we'll be having a meeting. So if you know anybody in the outreach programs, if you want to volunteer, you want to get a list of people that you know that want to volunteer, just get that list, send it to Mark. And, you know, because what we're trying to do is get an estimated number of volunteers. We want to give every volunteer a free T-shirt so that you can promote the community. When you go out, you're going to the gym, you wear, hey, East Raleigh Community Day. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. What do you guys do out there? You know, then maybe they want to do one in their community. Now maybe our community day mixes with their community day, and we have a, you know, just half of the city community day or something like that, just to get the word out. Maybe get some more people to move in here and come and say, well, this community looks like they're together. Let me look and see if there's any houses out there. Well, we'll put my business out there. You know, stuff like that, just to promote the community. And that's what the basic idea of the T-shirt was. Yes, sir.
Just find out how we can get community watch signs and all that.
If you get it with me after this, sir, I'll get your information and, okay, we got it. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I've got the recording of the police department, and I'm glad that you see the actions like in my car, and it's all
Does anybody else have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
at the festival information about all the existing community watches, so people come to find their neighborhood.
Yes, we can, I'm pretty sure, do we have a list of that, Mark? Do you have a list of all that?
I'm pretty sure the city does.
Yeah, I can get with Lisa Burgos. I don't know.
Community watches?
Officer Weber Burgos
Okay.
should have-
If she has then I could definitely be, she'll probably be out there too. And then if anybody needs any information prior to that, just let me know and I can send it out in an email if anyone's interested in actually setting up a community watch prior. Because I know that I'm going to a community meeting with Raleigh North to set up their community watch. We haven't set a date yet, but we're trying to set it prior to the community meeting, so that, or the community event, so we can have that to kind of celebrate also. Anything else? Alrighty, appreciate your time. Thank you.
I'd just like to point out that this portion of the meeting has continually shrunk, and I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
It is, and it's not my doing. It's y'all's doing for calling 911. We're getting rid of all these people, and the community is saying, you know what, we're taking it back. You know, that coupled with me just sitting around doing nothing, eating my donuts and drinking the proverbial coffee in the cul-de-sacs. There's nothing for them to do. We're around there all the time. People are calling me all the time. There are more people going in and out. I mean, losing Messiah Fashions was a huge help. I mean, a huge help. But the problem with that is we got rid of Messiah Fashions. The Raleigh Police detectives did a great job solving all those robberies over there, so half of those people are in jail. The problem we have now is there's a void, and everybody's popping up trying to fill that void. Well, the gang's pressing you, just saying, oh, it ain't happening. We're going to take care of this problem before it becomes a problem. So, you know, they try to get all secret society about it and put markings on sidewalks and, you know, IR chem light signs and, you know, kind of like out of Blade to announce their party so that we wouldn't know where they were at. But the citizens are saying, no, I heard it. This is where it's going to be at. Go do something about it. And we did. We took 5 people to jail. 2 people are probably going to be getting evicted out of that. So that's a problem that I didn't solve, that we didn't solve. You all solved it by giving us the information. All we did was take that information and do our job. And that's what we need, more of that going on. And we can get rid of, hopefully, we can get rid of all the problems, but there's still going to be some here and there. But a lot of the major problems that we need to worry about, the gangs, the drugs, the violence, and the robberies, we can scare that out of our neighborhoods just by y'all giving us phone calls. Anything else? I really do appreciate everything you guys do for us and all the phone calls and everything like that. And without you, there wouldn't be us. We couldn't make anything out of it. We couldn't take people to jail without the brave citizens willing to risk whatever it is you're risking to call us and tell us about everything. And it's really helped us out tremendously. You can see it in the crime reports, and you can see it in our success reports. So this community day is all about y'all come out, enjoy it, meet one another, You know, let's just have a good old time.
Yes, I think Charlene has an announcement to make.
Actually, I thought this was a timely point to, if I have to. Okay. Anyway. Okay, I want you to mark your calendars for September the 18th. And that's the day of the Raleigh Neighborhood Exchange on Saturday at the McKimmon Center. It'll be from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, and hey, you get a free lunch, and it's a good one too, okay? So, what is it, feed them and they will come? All right. But anyway, some of the topics that we're talking about are going to be discussed. We're going to have two series of breakout sessions, and you're going to get a chance to just select two. One during the first round, I think it's from 9 to 10:15, and then there's a break in the middle and the second series of presentations. And we're going to have several topics. You mentioned starting a community watch. Well, one of the items that we're going to address is, okay, once you get started, then what? How do you grow it? How do you get more people involved? How do you sustain it? How do you stay active? How do you keep the interest going? We're going to have actual people from Raleigh neighborhoods that are the presenters, one of them being Mr. Mark Turner here. So I want you to all come out and support him. He's going to talk about using technology, hey, right there, video streaming. He's going to talk about that. We're going to have some more presenters that talk about how you can use the listservs and the other high-tech or lower-tech means of building your group. And then we're going to have some other people there that are talking about helping to sustain the group and who to call, where to go when you get to a snag into growing that group. Another one is going to be supporting your small businesses, the local businesses in and around your neighborhood, and how that can be mutually beneficial. And we were talking about Food Line, and it's definitely, that is a neighborhood business at this point. I know Food Line's a chain, but this is our Food Line. This is for our community. We're going to have people that have actually started businesses in the neighborhood, and they're now grown from the cottage industry to a little neighborhood business. So we're going to have people talking about that. I'm trying to get the study that's done the farmers market at NOFO over in 5 Points. So that will be a segment of it that should be really interesting for you. We're also going to have a greening your neighborhood segment, which will talk about gardening for the environment, that planting and gardening that doesn't take a whole lot of water and resources, but it's complementary to your neighborhood. Touching on community gardens a little bit, but that's only one aspect of it. Urban chickens. I know that that's a growing thing here in Raleigh, so if you want to learn about putting chickens in your backyard and getting fresh eggs, that's going to be on it too. Vermicomposting, I think, with worms. Something like that. Anyway, some natural topics there. And I think, let's see, how to find affordable housing in Raleigh in tough times. So we've got 4 nice topics there, in addition to 2 in Spanish for our Hispanic-speaking people, and we're going to have a teen session as well. Now, I would love to see the ECAC have more people there than any other CACs. We're going to have a spot on your registration for you to check your CAC. So I'm hoping my people will show up more than any other CAC. Oh, and by the way, I'm coordinating the event this year, so come out and support me too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Charlene. Appreciate that. Okay, we are at item 7 now for taking nominations for CAC officers. So I'd like to open the floor up for nominations for the chair, vice chair, secretary. Just raise your hand if you've got someone you want to nominate, and if you would, Sue, just make note of names that get.
Nominate Lawrence for chairman.
All right. Well, okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll go ahead and run again. Anybody else want to put their hat in the ring? Okay. What about vice chair? Do we have any vice chair nominations?
If somebody else would like, services as a gopher in residence or something like that. I do a lot of things that I do now. If someone else would like to step up and become the vice chairman, I will not run.
Okay, well, it's open for anyone who feels free to be nominated. Nominate themselves. Yes, Sue.
That said, I'd still like to nominate.
Okay, Sue's going to nominate Van. I'm going to second that one too. So, okay. All right. Any nominations for secretary? Yes, Gail. Sue. Wow, I'll second that one too. All right, and we'll just open it up for any other nominations. Anybody would happen to? Yes, Sue.
I would also like to say that if anybody is interested in running as secretary, I mean, I've held this position for a few years. I enjoy it. I'm happy to serve, but it's also a great entree to getting involved with the CAC. So if somebody is interested in running for secretary, just let me know, and I'd be happy to let you know what it entails, and I'll step aside.
Okay, cool. And if anybody has any last-minute nominations, we'll take them again at our next meeting in September before we do a vote. So you've got some time to throw your hat in or nominate other people. So, cool. With that, any other nominations? We'll go ahead and close the nominations if there are none. Okay, cool. All right, we'll move on. At this point, we've got Laura Aiken from Wake Med and Advocates for Health in Action is going to talk about healthy communities. And do you need any audio-visual stuff for this at this point, or?
Have a PowerPoint, or I can just talk off of it, and that's fine, to not have to go through any.
Okay.
And I can
We
put
have
it
to
up
do a
on
PowerPoint for mine anyway, so we could always just set it up.
We could set it up.
Okay.
Yeah, give us a few minutes and
Okay.
we'll go ahead and get it set up over here.
You all could get up and exercise for a second. That would be really in keeping with what I'm going to talk about. Oh, you never know about me. I don't know what that means in the middle. We ready? Okay. Okay, are y'all ready to get started? And I'm going to buzz through these slides pretty quickly in the interest of time as to not keep you here all night. But my name is Laura Aiken, and I work for Wake Med. And Wake Med has really been partnering with this community a lot lately. We've been working with Officer Chris Kosum on the Community Day and Mark, and just really excited about seeing what we can do to become more engaged in your community which is our community with our hospital sitting here. And my job specifically at Wake Med is in the community outreach department, so it would be fitting that I would be out in the community with you all. And specifically, I work for an organization called Advocates for Health in Action. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that organization tonight and how you all can be working to create a healthier community as you talk about getting together and really making this a strong place to live. Thinking about the health implications of anything that you do is something that's very important. So this organization is an organization comprised of about 50 partners that work together on policy and environmental change that supports healthy, active lifestyles. So what we like to say is that we're working to make the healthy choice the easy choice for everyone who lives in Wake County. So a lot of times healthcare professionals, if you've been to the doctor and maybe your cholesterol was a little high or you're carrying a little bit of extra weight, the doctor might talk to you about making healthy choices. Anybody ever had that happen to them? Yes, okay, you're feeling it. So that happens, and then we dump you out in an environment where fast food is the cheapest and easiest choice. The food that we serve to our kids in school and daycare and summer camps is unhealthy. There's not a lot of recess time anymore because the teachers are trying so hard to get their children to pass their end of grade tests and all of those things. A lot of times parents don't feel safe letting their kids out playing. And let's face it, video games can be a lot more fun than the things that we used to do when we were kids, out picking up sticks and building forts and waiting for the dinner bell to ring. It's not so much the way things happen anymore. So what we decided to do was really try to work to change the environment, to change the culture here in Wake County so that it was easy to be healthy. And I just want to go through a couple of things that you all could practically do, should you feel called to do so, to create a healthier environment here. So we talk about Big P policy a lot, and Big P policy would be the types of things that you might do with the city council, the types of things you might do with the county commissioners. It might include zoning and land use. Right now we're doing a project with the city of Raleigh where we've petitioned them to change some of their zoning ordinances so that folks can have community gardens on privately owned land. Right now, if you wanted to start a community garden here and it was the only use of that land, according to our current zoning ordinances, you would not be able to do that. So that's an example of something that we're working on that would be Big P policy. Little P policies would be the things that a lot of you have a lot of control over. So you serving organizations, whether it's City of Raleigh or YMCA or Boys and Girls Clubs, could you work on making healthier snacking policies at your church? We all know what those big church potluck dinners look like. They're usually not too healthy. So what are some of the changes that we can make to make those things a little bit healthier? For those of you who work in a business, could there be some policies that allow you to get out and exercise for 15 minutes a day? It used to be, you get 15 minutes for a smoke break, and that's sort of gone the way the side of smoking's gone away. Well, could we replace that with a little bit of fitness? So those are the types of things that we talk about. I'm going to run through these really quickly. We do a lot of work with PTAs to try to help them create healthier environments in the schools. We're doing a lot around the local food advocacy, so community gardens. We don't have community gardens, but if a community would like to start a garden, then we can provide technical assistance to make that happen. We promote community-supported agriculture. We promote the roadside stands, farmers markets, things like that. One of the big projects that was recently completed out in the western side of the county was accepting EBT cards so people can use their food stamp benefits at farmers markets. And that's something that we're really trying to make happen across all the farmers markets in Wake County. So those are the types of things that we really need your voice on, for you to say these things are important to us so that we can start making some change in our community. A lot of stuff, I've heard you guys talk a lot about Neighborhood Watch. Well, we've kind of taken the concept of Neighborhood Watch and made it about Neighborhood Watch to make it safe to be physically active. So neighbors watching each other's children while they're outside playing, neighbors watching children as they're walking to their bus stops, so that parents don't feel so confined. I don't know what it's like here, but the neighborhood I live in, the parents get in their car and they drive their kid up to the bus stop, and then they sit in the car and they wait for the bus to come, and then they let their kids out. And that seems sort of strange. But I understand, because a lot of parents don't feel comfortable with their kid walking outside of their site. So doing a neighborhood watch in that way is something you can do. The city of Raleigh has worked really hard on adopting a lot of the healthy snacking policies. Up here, you guys can get this handout. One of the things that we're trying to really promote is healthy snacking for sports. So if you think about, I used to play softball right out here at Lions Park from the time I was 9 until I was 16. And we would finish our game and we would get Twinkies and Coke or maybe Gatorade. Let's just suffice it to say that it was a lot more calories than I had burned running to first base. And that's still happening. So one of the things that we're trying to do is change the culture around snacking so that kids aren't expecting to get 500 calories before or after a T-ball game. Greenways, guys, there's a bunch of guides over here that you all are welcome to have. It's a map of all the greenways in Wake County. Feel free to take those. We really want to promote our trail and greenway system here. This PowerPoint presentation is available online, so I'm not going to go into it right now, but you've talked a lot about youth engagement in this group and how can we have something going on for our young people to be engaged in. One of the things that kids in our program are doing is they're learning how to do GIS mapping. Have you all ever heard of GIS? You have the little handheld unit, and you press a button, and then it sends it up to a satellite, and it says, "You are here." And then what the kids are doing is they're going into parks, they're going into grocery stores, they're going into convenience stores, and they are taking surveys to find out if there's healthy choices. Are the parks safe? Is there gang graffiti? What's going on in these places where they hang out? What's going on in the places where they get food? And then they're taking that information and advocating for healthy changes. So that's something that we want more kids to be involved in, and something that could be really cool here in your community. What does this mean to me? Just think about your circle of influence. Think about your school, home, church, neighborhood, sporting league, daycare, and what types of things can you do to create a healthier environment. We have lots of tools for you. We've got one about how to start gardens. We've got this healthy snack. We've got one about how to start community walking programs. We're seeing a lot of community walking programs popping up all across the city where you know, somebody just says, okay, we're going to meet every Tuesday at 7 o'clock in front of my house, and we're going to all go walking. So that's a great way to build a sense of community in your neighborhood and get a little bit of exercise. And what are some of the things that you can do to make a difference? Don't be the parent that brings the Twinkie. And that's the hardest thing, because your kid will probably be made fun of the first few times. It's happened to my poor children, but they're over it and they're used to it. Starting or working in a community garden. I know there's been a lot of talk in this neighborhood about community gardens. One of the things that I would tell you, if this is something that's interesting to you, Alliance Medical Ministry, which is located on New Bern Avenue right next to the hospital, has started a garden. They need help really, really bad. This happens a lot in community gardens. It sounds like a fabulous idea, and then it gets to be 100 degrees, and it hasn't rained, and it's not quite as fun as it was when you talked about it in March. And that's what Alliance is going through right now. So if any of you all are interested in helping out in a community garden, seeing if it's something you enjoy, they are willing to share their harvest with you. So let me know, and I can get you hooked up with them. So the bottom line is that the only way that we can really create a healthier community is by shifting our culture to make the things that we expect to happen different. We have to have a value around health. Right now, our values are centered around convenience, driving through the fast food, just doing what's quick and easy, and with an obesity rate of nearly 70% for adults in Wake County, we're going to have to make some changes because it's costing us a lot of money, and it's costing us a lot of good times with our family, which is something that's a lot more valuable than any money that I have in my pocket. So I would just urge you all to think about these things and think about what you can do in your community to be healthier. This is my email address. It's laiken@wakemed.org. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. Check out our website, and that's it.
Does anyone have any questions for Laura while she's up here? Okay. All right, thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. laiken@wakemed.org. Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and take that off. All right. Now I think we get to the freebie portion of the meeting. And if somebody would like to help Charlene here. She has some low-flow shower heads that Community Services is giving away. So anybody who wants a low-flow shower head.
Wait, don't give those out after my presentation. We'll leave first.
Yeah, no one's going to leave. All right.
I will put them all on this table, and after the presentation, and we close the meeting, you can come by and take your low-flow shower head. Will that work?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Okay, they'll be on the table if you want to take one after the meeting.
Take one now, as long as you promise not to leave.
Yeah, I think people. This is Diane Upshaw from the Public Utilities Department here talking about water conservation. So happy to have you here. Let me hand you the microphone.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Okay, I have a handout for everyone. Just pass those around. Great. Okay, as he said, I'm Diane Upshaw from the Public Utilities Department. I'm here on a grant from AmeriCorps. How many of you are familiar with AmeriCorps? It's kind of like, I like to explain it as it's the Peace Corps for America. We work on low-income families and try to work on getting people out of poverty and the like. So, but I'm here to talk about water conservation today, and that's for everyone. It doesn't matter how much you make, everyone can conserve water. And I just want to give you a few facts. We, as human beings, are made up of about 70% water. Water is one of those few things that, yeah, we can make H2O because it is something that we know what the molecules are made up of, but we get so much of it naturally, you know, it would be a shame to have to get to a point where we have to make it up. And water is in everything you use. The chairs that you're sitting in, the clothes that you're wearing, water is involved with all of that stuff. When you drink a coffee, Coke, whatever, water is involved in all these things. But the sad thing is that only about 3% of the world's water is fresh water. So that's not very much when you consider how much water is in this world. And we can only get about 0.3% of water. That's because most of it is in either underground aquifers that we can't get to, places that we can't reach, or it gets delivered all at one time. How many of you have been through a hurricane? Any hurricane? Yeah, how much of the water do you think we can use from that? Not very much, because it comes, it dumps, and it leaves. Well, or it stays and makes even more problems, but you can't drink that either. It's a growing worldwide resource that's, even though we have as much as we've always had, it's being readjusted in different ways. So our deserts are becoming larger, and other places that get water are getting too much of it at one time. This is the Neuse River Basin watershed. So, oops, sorry. Everything that flows, this is where the water flows to. But all of it comes from a specific small source up here for Raleigh. Oops. Sorry, this is the first time I'm playing with my little gadget here. See this right down here, this is Raleigh. But Falls Lake is where we get our water supply from. So if it's not colored on this map, we don't get the water. Rain has to fall in this area in order for it to flow into Falls Lake, for it to make it all the way down here to us. And this is, this is all of Raleigh. That's just the upper part of Raleigh. So we only get a very, considering how much it is in the world, that's not a very big landmass for us to be getting our water. On average, most households in Raleigh use approximately 200 gallons a day in water. Each individual uses about 63.5 gallons a day. And we use this through normal stuff, washing dishes, washing your clothes, taking bath, taking showers, things like that. The unfortunate part is most of us use it in way too much for each individual item, which is what I'm here to talk about. Here's one of the ways that you can create a water-wise zone in your home. Water displacing devices for your toilet. The one thing I can say is please, 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 please do not use bricks. They end up degrading in your toilet and then causing flapper problems, and then you end up wasting way more water than you ever would have saved by putting a brick in your toilet. There are safe water displacement devices such as 2-liter jug, 2-liter Pepsi or Coke that you can put in. If your toilet's big enough, a gallon jug, most people aren't that big enough. Aerating your fixtures. I've got some fixtures that I can hand out tonight. I don't have very many of them that are 0.5 flow that can fit onto your sinks that will let you use less water. Plus we have, as she said, the low flow shower heads, which actually are pretty good. Also, one of the really main problems that people use wasting water each year is leaks. Many people don't realize how much water they waste because of leaks in their toilet. So for example, if you hear your toilet run way more, it seems like, well, that really should have filled up by now. Well, it's probably the flapper got stuck open and it takes longer to shut. Sometimes you can't even hear the leak that you have. So it's so small and slow that you can't hear it, and it's just continually running out of your toilet and you have no idea. And it's just water that's going right out your door, along with money because you're paying for the water that you get in. Some ways to conserve water. I wanted to write this down. She said this earlier. Shift in culture. That would be conserving less water by bathing less. And I get, every once in a while I get a little feedback from that. In the, I'm sorry? What'd she say?
I said at these temperatures?
Yeah, this is true. Daily bathing was sparked by the Bath a Day campaign mounted by the plumbing industry to promote sales of bathtubs in 1914. That's where everyone needs to take a bath a day. It was a scheme to sell more bathtubs. Now, I'll grant you, when it's 100 degrees outside every day, shower more often. But in the fall, in the spring, when you work in air conditioning all day, and even though it's 100 degrees outside and it's 50 in your office and you're freezing to death, maybe you don't really need that shower before you go to bed at night, because what have you really done that day? But I just like the fact that, we didn't start taking daily baths until a plumbing company told us that it was necessary. That's the same thing with shampooing your hair. That happened around the early 1900s as well. People did not shampoo their hair every day. It was once every 2 weeks. Yeah. Whether you need it or not, exactly. Okay.
This is the same lines as the plumbing thing, but the shampoo industry made great strides when they say lather, rinse,
Repeat. Exactly.
Right, not necessary.
Anyone remember the 1970s Fabergé ad with Farrah Fawcett washing her hair? These are all things that kind of contribute. So it's that change of culture. Many people use a lot more water than they ever need to for things that they don't really need to be using water for. So some other tips. Take shorter showers. Military style, which is where you turn it off, soap up, or turn it on, soap up, turn it off, then soap up. There we go. Turn it back on, wash off, and there you go. Sorry, I'm trying to do that too fast. Brushing your teeth. If you run the faucet while you're brushing your teeth, 13 gallons a day. Just turn the water off when you're brushing your teeth. It's not that hard. Let's see. Flushing your toilet. Some toilets, especially from the 1950s, use 7 gallons a flush. So that can be a lot of water if you're flushing 5 times a day, which is what most people, on average, people go to the bathroom 5 times a day. So if you installed a WaterSense toilet, which uses 1.28 gallons, you could save $245 a year. Here is where I'm supposed to promote the city's toilet rebate program. if you replace your current toilet with a low-flow water-sense toilet, which uses 1.28 gallons, the city will give you back $100. Now, yeah, so it's a free toilet.
Van has done that.
Yeah, so see, we've got someone here who's actually done the program. Yes, but there is a certain date before which it doesn't apply, and it's sometime in 2009, like March or something of 2009. It does say in this pamphlet, so if anyone's interested in that, you can pick up a pamphlet. You do have to follow the guidelines, which is that it has to be a water-sense toilet, and it has to be installed, and you have to return the original receipt with this to get your money back. They just want to make sure you're not going to return your toilet afterwards. Why you would, I won't know. And you have to be a City of Raleigh water customer. Sorry, my W's and R's get a little mixed up there. So if anyone's interested, please pick up a brochure. Washing your hands. There's an act of 1997 that kind of dictated what new housing could be built with. And one of the things was that your faucet had to have a 2.2 gallon per minute aerator. And that was a max. And people before that were using more than 2.2 gallons per minute. So I think you're supposed to wash your hands for, the rule is like 2 happy birthday songs, which is about 30 seconds. So 30 seconds, if you're rated at 2.2, that means you've just used 1.1 gallons of water to wash your hands in 30 seconds. That's 1 milk jug. So how many of you think it takes 1 milk jug to actually wash your hands? The aerators that I have, like I said, are 0.5 per minute. So you're only using 0.25 per minute gallons of water just by washing your hands. So that can be a significant savings as well. Anyone in here have a front load washer? Oh, that's great. I love that. So many people have told me how good they are. Not only do they use less water, but because of the way they spin out much more of the water so that it takes less drying time.
Clothes come out so much drier.
Yeah. So now you've saved water and electricity.
And they don't tear up your clothes.
And so your clothes last longer. So you're saving even more money. Outdoor, I was telling a friend of mine the story. We were looking up how we're doing water audits for people, and that's something I'm going to talk about in a second. So we looked up his water usage for the past year. Well, apparently he was trying to sell his house. So for a month of like March, he was using 2 CCFs, which is about 1,400 gallons. For the month of June, which is, I guess, a May-June bill, he used 31 CCFs, and there are 748 gallons in a CCF. So he was just trying to get his water as green as possible, but he was actually probably drowning his grass. So most people really overwater their grass. You don't really need to water as much as you think you do. Just because you can water every other day for 4 hours doesn't mean you have to do that. If you can walk across your lawn and see your footprints, then it's time to water. Otherwise, you really don't need to water your grass. So I was talking before, saving water can save you energy, not only in your personal income, because if you're using less water to wash your hands, that means you haven't kicked on your water heater for as long. So you're saving water because you're using less hot water. You're also saving money because eventually the city of Raleigh's population is going to expand, as many do, at least we hope. So they're talking about building a plant at Little River, I think is what it's called. Well, that's going to cost everyone in this room money because you're going to have to pay for that. The city just doesn't magically generate new dams. So when they have the bonds that you have to vote on, that means you guys have to pay for it. So if we try to conserve water now and use less water, then that just puts that off that much more in the future. So we don't have to pay for new construction and things like that. It also can help save the environment. How many people remember what Falls Lake looked like in '07 with that little stream of water that was coming around all those islands? Well, not only have you killed off all the fish that will live there, you've killed off any birds or whatever else that may have been living off of those fish. Plus, we've now turned up all the stuff that's kind of in the bottom of Falls Lake. So when that comes through the water processing plant to process, that means it's that much more that we have to do to get all that silt out, any the environmental pollutants that are in there. It just has to work that much harder. So if we conserve water now, we can hopefully avoid that. So this is kind of a front-end project to avoid something like that again. How many know that we're going to tiered water rates in November? Okay. I'm going to try to help explain what that is, but it's kind of confusing, so just bear with me. This literally is going to be the more water you use, the more you're going to pay for it. The first tier, the first 3,000 gallons, they're going to charge you $2.28 per 1,000. The next 4,500 will be billed at $3.80 a gallon. So that's going to be, and remember I said before that the average family uses 6,000 gallons of water in a month. So you would multiply 2.28 times 3 and then 3.8 times 3, because that would be your 6,000 gallons. If you go over let's see, 7,500 gallons, it's $5.07 per 1,000 gallons. Plus, the more you use, you're also getting, you still get billed a flat fee for sewage, but it's still per 1,000 gallons. So if you can use like 1,000 less gallons, then you can save that $2.85 as well. So the tiered rates were going to be, the more water you use, the more you will pay for it, because it's going to go up for the more you use. I tried to work out some math here. It's not that fun or exciting. But if you could cut down just 20% of your usage, which, and I've done like 5 or 6 water audits so far, and every single household can save at least 25% with using the water efficiency things like the low flow toilets, the shower heads, things like that. That doesn't even count you making a concerted effort to use water. That's just efficiency tools. And you could save about $100 a year doing that. Okay, how we can help. We can come do this water audit that I keep talking about, which is we actually come to your house. We test the flow rates on all your devices, even if they're already rated, because we've actually found out, especially with toilets and some with shower heads, that they don't actually flow at the rate that they're rated at. They are allowed to have a margin of error. So it could say that you're using 2.2 gallons per minute, but you could really be using 3. Same thing with the toilets. They may be rated for 1.6, but you could actually be using 2 per flush. So we'll come in, we'll figure out how much water you're really using in a day based on national averages, and then we'll tell you how much you could save if you switched over to some of these low flow items. This is a free service. It's kind of, like I said, sponsored by the Vista program that I'm involved in. And most of the time we were trying to do it as a safety net, but we'd really like as many people to do it as possible, so we're opening it up to anyone at this meeting. If you'd like to sign up, you just let me know. How you can help. Obviously start being water efficient at home. Also, we need volunteers to help run this program. All of the Vistas actually leave in the middle of August, so we won't be here to continue performing this function. And we would like this to continue out into the community. So we're asking for volunteers to be able to go do these same water audits on your neighbors, maybe if church groups, civic groups got together. We can actually teach you how to do this. It's really very simple. And then you can keep it going out into the community. That's all I have. We are going to hand out the shower heads, and if anyone is interested in more information, either to have a water audit or for volunteering or both, if you'd please fill out one of these. If you are not interested, just pass it along to your neighbors, or just leave them in your chair and we'll pick it up. And if anyone's interested in the toilet rebate, also be sure and pick up one of these. So I'm going to hand these to you, and if you just pass them. Are there any questions? It starts November 1st. Yes, and a new water rate came into effect July 1st, which I think was a 3% increase. So even on your next bill, if you just use water as you normally do, you're going to see an increase anyway, because there is an increase that started this month. And then the tiered rate starts on November 1st. And it's also going to a monthly bill as well. And that's because so many people cannot afford to pay their bi-monthly bill. So we're trying to break it down into smaller increments so people can actually feel like they can pay their bill. Plus, because if you get a bill for $100 in the mail, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't pay that. But maybe if you got a bill for $50, you would be like, okay, I can actually handle that this month. And because the problem with that is that then there's a late fee. And then if you're really late, your water gets disconnected. Well, that costs you as a citizen more money. We don't really want anyone to have their water disconnected. That's not a good thing to happen to you personally. Plus, I mean, on another end is the city has to go out and cut out cut off your water. Well, if we have a high water cutoff rate, that's more money that everyone has to pay because you're paying a city employee to go out and cut off someone's water, when that could have just been hopefully prevented in the first place. So we're trying to work, there's several reasons. I mean, the city really does actually care about its citizens. We really don't want people to have high water bills. We don't want people to have their water shut off. We want people to be able to pay their own bills and be able to afford this. So water conservation is one of the things that we're kind of touting as a good way. I mean, it's good for the citizens and it's good for the city. Mm-hmm.
How accurate are the meters when you get your bill in the mail?
Well, they do charge per CCF. So if you bump into the next CCF, you're getting charged. So like if you have 3,001 gallons and 3,000 is a CCF cutoff, you're going to be charged for another CCF. I don't mean to be walking around the answer to that question. I don't know the answer to that question. But conversely, most people are not going to be that one in. They're going to be like 5 or 10 in, or even 100 in. Since it's 748 per CCF, you have a rather wide margin of error there. But really, it's a question for the meters department.
Diane?
Yes.
Are the bills going to actually show gallons on them instead of CCFs?
It does say CCF, but it shows you what your specific average per day is. And in fact, your current bill actually has that, right? Okay. So at the very top of your bill, it'll say your family used 63.5 gallons per day. So just find out how, because there's a section that has like how many days in your bill. Just multiply that, and that will tell you what your gallon use was.
Okay. Most people don't think it's CCFs.
I know, it was really hard for me when I started the job. I'm like, what? I didn't even know what a CCF is. For your information, it's actually 100 cubic feet. And this first C is the Roman numeral for 100. So that's what CCF is.
You said something about the bills went up 3% in July.
The rate for your water went up 3%. Your whole bill did not go up 3%.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Water and sewer.
Right.
But I was in a meeting with Ken Waldrop. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
He's about 20 people above me, but yes, I know who he is.
Well, I was under the impression that he told us water rates wouldn't go up at this time. It was going to be an extra $5 for the motor vehicle to cover whatever this time.
I know that the city council voted in April to raise the rates 3%. Now, if something's happened between then and now, it could be that I don't know about it. Because, things go back and forth, since it didn't go into effect till July 1st. And I know that the $5 was added on, so I know that did go into effect. So I'd actually have to check into that if both of those things happened. But I could find out and then email you, and you can let everyone else know, just because that way I can answer everyone and not just you, if that's okay. Yes. That should start December, because the new rates start November 1st, and you would get a 30-day bill, and so the bill then would come in December.
There is an increase in bills. You was talking about $5 increase in bills?
Now, she was talking about a $5, I think it was a motor vehicle tax. Now, that's going to become whenever you pay the tax on your vehicle.
But it goes to the city for the water, right?
That I don't know about. I just remember reading something about the $5 increase. I'm not sure where it's headed to.
So what, I don't understand the system, but what, the student system has nothing to do with how many people live in your house?
No. And that's been internally talked about, but I'm not sure how they're addressing it as far as the city council is concerned. And the city council is actually where this gets voted on.
It's kind of not fair then,
Right.
if a lot of people live in the house.
Yeah, because they do not, I can say that they do not base that on how many people live in your house. If you live in an apartment complex, especially if you don't personally pay one of the bills, or if it gets billed to like a homeowners association account, the rate is not going to increase for those, because it's like a multi-family unit. So those are actually going to stay at a flat rate. This is only for single-family homes. And being a City of Raleigh employee, there's no way I'm answering that. But if you have problems with the rates, and you want to talk about them and discuss them, City Council is the place to go. I'm just here to tell you about water conservation and answer questions as best I can. Was there another question? Okay. Well, I really appreciate y'all letting me come out and talk, and if you want to talk with me one-on-one, that's great too.
Thank you, Diane. Appreciate that presentation. And if anybody has any questions for Diane, you can send them through me. I'll be happy to forward them on. Same thing with Laura Aiken. My email address is cac-chair@eastraleigh.org. I've got business cards up here on the table. Feel free to take one. It also has the meeting dates and times on there. I guess we have some closing announcements. A couple of things I want you to remember. Once again, Community Day is Saturday, August 14th. We are not having a meeting in August. We're having one in September. Okay, so the Community Day will actually take place before our next meeting. I'd like a couple of people, if they could, to take some of these signs home with them, put them in their yard for our next meeting in September, let people know, let your neighbors know about the meetings. And the neighborhood exchange is September 18th, so if you...
We are doing a mailing to everybody on the CAC newsletter list, so there'll be separate brochures that come in the mail, and we'll also hit our email list as well.
Right, so you've got those things. Once again, no meeting in August. We will meet again in September. Anybody else have any other closing announcements?
I'll just say one thing.
Charlene.
When you come out and get your low-flow shower device,
Low-flow shower.
if you have more than one shower, just go ahead and get one to begin with, and then when everybody's got a chance, you at least get one, hang back, and then you're welcome to get a second one. But we'd like everybody that wants one to at least get one.
Okay, good.
Please consider if there's anybody else that you'd like to nominate for the post.
Yes, nominations will be open for CC officers for next month. Can I get a motion to adjourn? So moved. Second? All right. See you in September, unless you come to the Community Day, August 14th. Thank you. Good night.
This is the
Check, check, check. Check, 1, 2.